The massive Empire ship emerged from hyperspace like a dark cloud blocking the sun. Its hull gleamed with a metallic purple sheen as it positioned itself in Earth's orbit, dwarfing the International Space Station below. The year was 2157, and humanity was about to face its greatest challenge. Inside the Global Defense Command Center in Geneva, Admiral Stone stood with his hands clasped behind his back, watching the main screen with unwavering focus. The Empire ship was 3 times larger than anything humans had ever built. "Sir, they're broadcasting on all frequencies," reported Lieutenant Wilson from her console. Her fingers moved quickly across the holographic display as she worked to process the incoming signal. The Admiral nodded. "Put them through." The screen flickered, revealing a tall figure in elaborate black and silver robes. Lord Grey, the Empire's representative, looked down at them with golden eyes that seemed to glow with artificial enhancement. "People of Earth," he spoke in perfect English, though his mouth movements didn't match the words. "The Galactic Empire extends its greetings. We have come to offer you integration into our vast civilization. Your species has finally achieved sufficient technological advancement to join our community." Admiral Stone's eyes narrowed. Something felt wrong about this whole situation. "We appreciate your offer, Lord Grey. However, such decisions require careful consideration and discussion among Earth's nations." The Empire representative's expression hardened. "You misunderstand, Admiral. This is not an offer. It is an inevitability. You have 24 hours to begin the integration process, or face complete isolation from galactic society." The transmission ended abruptly, leaving the command center in tense silence. Dr. Anderson, Earth's chief science officer, stepped forward from the shadows where he had been quietly observing. "Admiral, our quantum interceptors picked up something interesting during the transmission. They're broadcasting on hidden frequencies." Within hours, the Global Defense Summit convened virtually. Leaders from every nation watched as Dr. Anderson presented his findings. The intercepted communications revealed the Empire's true intentions. Earth would become another harvesting ground for resources and human labor, just like dozens of other worlds before it. "They think we're primitive," Dr. Anderson explained, projecting a series of decoded messages. "They haven't detected our quantum shield network or our deep space monitoring stations. We've hidden our true capabilities well." President Rivera of the North American Alliance leaned forward in her virtual window. "How many worlds have they enslaved?" "At least 37 confirmed civilizations," Dr. Anderson replied. "Most were taken by force when they refused to integrate peacefully." Admiral Stone addressed the gathered leaders. "We have an advantage they don't expect. Our quantum technology is decades ahead of their conventional systems. They don't know about our automated defense platforms or our eye-controlled response fleet." The Chinese premier's hologram nodded slowly. "We have prepared for this moment for decades. The question is, do we submit and wait for a better moment to resist, or do we stand our ground now?" The room fell silent as the implications hung in the air. Humanity had always wondered if they were alone in the universe. Now they knew the truth. They weren't alone, but perhaps they were stronger than they had imagined. Admiral Stone looked at each leader's hologram in turn. "With respect, I believe we know what we must do. Earth has never bowed to tyrants before. We won't start now." The vote was unanimous. Earth would not submit to the Empire's demands. As the sun set over Geneva, Admiral Stone watched the Empire ship looming in the sky through his office window. Tomorrow, the galaxy would learn that humanity wasn't just another species to be conquered. They were about to teach the Empire a lesson about underestimating Earth. The clock was ticking. In less than 24 hours, everything would change. The 24-hour deadline was approaching its end. The Empire's massive ship still hung in Earth's orbit like a silent threat. What the Empire didn't know was that Earth's forces were already in position, hidden behind their quantum camouflage technology. Admiral Stone stood at his command post, watching the tactical display. Small dots representing Earth's defense fleet blinked steadily, invisible to the Empire's scanners. "Status report," he commanded. "All systems ready, sir," Lieutenant Wilson replied. "The quantum shield network is at full power. Defense platforms are armed but hidden. The Empire has launched 3 scout ships toward the atmosphere." Stone's lips curved into a slight smile. "Perfect. They're following the expected pattern. Time to show them our first card." The scout ships descended through Earth's upper atmosphere, their engines glowing bright against the dark sky. They were sleek, arrow-shaped vessels, clearly designed for speed and surveillance. "Activate Defense Platform 7, Stone ordered. Minimal power. Let's not reveal too much yet." High above the Pacific Ocean, a seemingly empty patch of sky shimmed briefly. A satellite-sized platform appeared, its quantum camouflage falling away like water. Before the Empire scouts could react, it fired 3 precise energy pulses. The scouts' engines died instantly. Their communications went dark. The ships hung helpless in the sky, caught in the platform's tractor beam. "Send the message," Stone commanded. Lieutenant Wilson opened a channel to the main Empire ship. "This is Earth Defense Command. We have disabled your scout vessels. They are unharmed but powerless. Consider this a demonstration." The response was immediate. Lord Grey's face appeared on the main screen, his golden eyes now flickering with anger. "This is impossible. Your technology is primitive. You can't." "Can't what?" Stone interrupted. "Can't defend ourselves. Can't have technology you don't know about." He pressed a button, revealing hundreds of defense platforms suddenly decloaking around Earth. "We've been watching you for decades, learning, preparing. Did you really think we were defenseless?" The Empire ship's engines flared to life as it attempted to launch more vessels. Stone nodded to Dr. Anderson, who had been quietly monitoring his own console. "Activating quantum disruption field," Anderson announced. A wave of invisible energy spread out from Earth's defense network. Every Empire system started failing. Their shields flickered and died. Their advanced engines sputtered to a stop. Even their artificial gravity began to fail. "Impossible," Lord Grey shouted. "Our technology is centuries ahead of yours." "No," Stone replied calmly. "Your technology followed a predictable path. We chose a different one. While you focused on brute force and size, we developed quantum mechanics and AI integration. Your ships are impressive, but they're dinosaurs compared to ours." As if to prove his point, Earth's defense fleet finally revealed itself. Hundreds of smaller, sleeker ships appeared around the Empire vessel. Each one was powered by quantum drives and controlled by advanced AI systems that could react thousands of times faster than organic pilots. Lord Grey's face had lost its arrogant expression. "The Empire will not stand for this insult. We will return with a full invasion fleet." "No, you won't," Stone answered. "Because if you do, we'll be forced to demonstrate our real capabilities. These are just our defensive systems, Lord Grey. You haven't seen our offensive capabilities yet. Would you like to?" The Empire ship hung silent for several long moments. Finally, Lord Grey spoke again, his voice tight with controlled rage. "You will regret this defiance." "We'll take our chances," Stone replied. "You have 1 hour to collect your scout ships and leave our solar system. If you ever return without permission, we won't be so gentle." Earth is now off-limits to the Empire. As the Empire ship retreated, towing its powerless scouts, Admiral Stone turned to Dr. Anderson. "Send the data packet to our allies in the Resistance. Show them what happened here today." Anderson nodded. "Already done, sir. The other subjugated worlds will know within hours that the Empire can be defeated." Stone looked back at the tactical display, watching the Empire ship shrink into the distance. "They'll be back," he said quietly. "But next time, we'll be even more ready." The warning shot had been fired. The galaxy would never be the same. 3 days after the Empire's retreat, the alarm bells rang throughout Earth's defense network. Multiple hyperspace signatures were detected at the edge of the solar system. The Empire had returned, and this time they weren't alone. Admiral Stone rushed into the command center, his uniform slightly wrinkled from sleep. "Report." 20 Empire warships, sir," Lieutenant Wilson announced. "They're calling it a peacekeeping fleet. They brought their biggest ships this time." The main screen showed the Empire fleet spreading out in attack formation. Their ships were massive, each one bristling with weapon ports. At the center was an enormous vessel that made their first contact ship look tiny in comparison. "They still think size matters," Dr. Anderson remarked, studying the sensor readings. "They haven't learned anything." The command center's eye assistant spoke up. "Admiral, we're receiving a transmission from the Empire flagship." A new face appeared on the screen. Not Lord Grey this time, but a stern-looking military commander. "I am High Admiral Rex of the Empire's First Fleet. Your previous actions against Empire representatives cannot go unpunished. Surrender now, and we may show mercy." Stone looked at Dr. Anderson, who nodded. The quantum shield network was ready. The defense platforms were charged. Earth's automated fleet was in position, hidden and waiting. "High Admiral," Stone replied calmly, "I'll give you one chance to leave. We've discovered your records. We know what you did to the people of Proxima Beta, to the colonies in the Orion sector. We won't let that happen here." Rex's face darkened. "You know nothing. The Empire brings order to chaos, progress to primitives. You'll thank us once you understand your place." "Our place?" Stone smiled. "Let me show you our place." He nodded to Lieutenant Wilson. Across the solar system, thousands of defense platforms decloaked. They had been placed years ago, hidden in asteroid belts, near planets, in strategic positions throughout Earth's territory. Rex's eyes widened as his sensors registered the enormous network. "What is this?" "This is humanity's answer to bullies," Stone replied. "Computer, activate the Sentinel protocol." The defense platforms hummed to life. Quantum energy fields spread between them, creating an enormous web throughout the solar system. The Empire ships suddenly found themselves trapped inside small pockets of normal space, cut off from each other. "Fire the warning shots," Stone ordered. Each platform fired a precise beam of energy. The beams passed straight through the Empire's shields as if they weren't there. They struck non-critical areas of each ship, leaving smoking holes in their armor. "Impossible," Rex shouted. "Our shields are the strongest in the galaxy." "Your shields work on normal physics," Dr. Anderson explained. "We stopped using those years ago. The quantum realm offers so many more possibilities." Stone stepped closer to the screen. "We've disabled your weapons, your engines, and your communications with each other. You're now our prisoners. But we're not like you. We don't believe in empire building." He pressed a button, and data started flowing to each Empire ship. "These are records we've collected of your atrocities, the worlds you've enslaved, the species you've exploited. We're broadcasting this across all frequencies to every world in range." The Empire ships hung powerless in space as Earth's message spread across the stars. In the following hours, reports began coming in of uprisings on Empire-controlled worlds. The truth was finally spreading. "You have 1 hour to leave our solar system," Stone declared. "Earth is now officially off-limits to the Empire. Any further incursions will be met with full defensive force." As the Empire fleet limped away in defeat, Lieutenant Wilson turned to Stone. "Sir, we're receiving messages from other worlds. They want to know how we did it. They're asking for help." Stone watched the Empire ships disappear into hyperspace. "Tell them help is coming. The galaxy's about to change." Dr. Anderson smiled. The Empire's mistake wasn't just attacking Earth. Their mistake was thinking they were the most advanced civilization in the galaxy. "Their biggest mistake," Stone added, "was giving us time to prepare." The Galactic Council chamber was unlike anything humans had ever built. Floating platforms held representatives from 1,000 worlds, all arranged in a giant sphere. The Empire section, marked by their purple and gold colors, took up nearly half the chamber. But today, All eyes were on the new platform marked with Earth's blue and green flag. Admiral Stone stood with Earth's diplomatic team, led by Ambassador Roberts. They had been summoned to explain their aggressive actions against Empire ships. The Empire's supporters had expected to see nervous, primitive humans begging for mercy. Instead, they found calm confidence. "The Empire demands punishment for Earth's actions," Lord Grey shouted from his platform. "They attacked our peaceful vessels. They threatened our citizens." Ambassador Roberts stepped forward. Her simple blue uniform stood out among the elaborate robes worn by other species. "We will share the truth with the Council," she said, her voice clear and strong. "Computer, play the evidence." The center of the chamber filled with holographic images. They showed Empire ships attacking defenseless colonies, soldiers forcing alien species into work camps, worlds stripped of resources and left ruined. "We found these records in the Empire's own ships," Roberts explained. "The same ships that came to peacefully integrate Earth into the Empire." Whispers spread through the chamber. Many representatives looked shocked, but others nodded knowingly. They had seen this before. A small green-skinned representative from the outer world spoke up. "How did you resist them?" "The Empire's fleet is the strongest in known space. Strength isn't just about size," Admiral Stone replied. "Earth chose a different path. We developed quantum technology, while the Empire relied on brute force. We hid our advances while preparing our defenses." "Lies," Lord Grey shouted. "They must have stolen the technology. No primitive world could advance so quickly." Dr. Anderson, who had been quietly watching, stepped forward. "We didn't steal anything. Humanity simply looked at the universe differently. While you focused on making bigger ships and stronger weapons, we explored the quantum realm. We learned to bend space itself." To prove his point, he pressed a button on his wrist device. His platform's quantum shield became visible for a moment, shimmering like a soap bubble. Several council members gasped as their sensors tried and failed to analyze it. "Earth offers this technology to any world that wants to be free," Ambassador Roberts announced. "We don't want an empire. We want allies." The chamber erupted in chaos. Empire representatives shouted threats, while other worlds began requesting immediate diplomatic relations with Earth. In the confusion, a representative from a small mining colony approached Earth's platform. "My people have suffered under Empire control for generations," she whispered. "Can you really help us?" Roberts smiled warmly. "We already are. Check your secure channels when you return home." The council session lasted for hours. The Empire threatened war, sanctions, and isolation. But with each threat, more worlds turned away from them, seeking Earth's protection instead. Finally, the Council's High Speaker called for order. "The Council recognizes Earth's right to defend its territory. No action will be taken against them for protecting their sovereignty." Lord Grey stood up, his face red with rage. "The Empire will not forget this. You'll regret choosing Earth over us." "No," Admiral Stone replied calmly. "The only one with regrets will be the Empire. Your days of bullying other worlds are over." As they left the council chamber, Dr. Anderson checked his tablet. "Sir, we're receiving messages from 30 different worlds already. They all want to discuss defense agreements." Ambassador Roberts nodded. "And that's just the beginning." The Empire's grip on the galaxy was built on fear. Now that others see they can be defeated, everything changes. Stone finished. He looked out at the stunning view of the galactic capital's skyline. "We came to defend Earth, but it looks like we're going to help free the galaxy instead." The Empire had wanted to make an example of Earth. Instead, Earth had become a symbol of hope for every oppressed world in the galaxy. The real diplomatic chaos was just beginning. 1 month after the Galactic Council meeting, the Empire launched their new strategy against Earth. Instead of warships, they sent economic warfare. "All Empire trading ships have stopped coming to our solar system," Lieutenant Wilson reported in the morning briefing. "They're trying to cut us off from galactic trade." Admiral Stone sat at his desk, studying the trade route maps on his holographic display. Red lines showed the blocked Empire trade routes, but blue lines, representing independent traders, were already creating new paths. They still don't understand us, Dr. Anderson said, pointing to Earth's resource indicators. We built our civilization without any alien trade. We prepared for isolation long ago. The main screen lit up with an incoming transmission. It was Lord Grey again, looking smugger than ever. Having supply problems yet, Earth? No world can survive without Empire trade. Soon your people will beg to join us. Ambassador Roberts, who was attending the briefing remotely, actually laughed. Lord Grey, I don't think you've done your homework. Again. She pressed a button, and her screen showed Earth's massive automated mining operations on Mars and the asteroid belt. Another image revealed huge underwater farming complexes. A third displayed quantum-powered manufacturing centers. Earth doesn't need your trade, she explained. We wanted it, yes. But need it? Look closer. The images shifted to show Earth's quantum replication technology. Raw materials went in one end, and finished products came out the other. The Empire's main control over other worlds was their advanced manufacturing. But Earth had gone a different way. Impossible, Lord Grey sputtered. No world has achieved resource independence. We had to, Stone replied. We spent centuries thinking. We were alone in the universe. We learned to take care of ourselves. Dr. Anderson stepped forward. And now we're sharing this technology with others. Your embargo isn't just failing, it's backfiring. Reports were already coming in from across the galaxy. Worlds that had relied on Empire trade were quickly adopting Earth's self-sufficiency technology. Underground trade routes were forming, bypassing Empire control completely. In the Luna Trading Hub, independent merchants from 100 worlds gathered to establish new trade agreements. Earth's quantum shielding protected them from Empire interference. The Empire's economy is built on dependency, Ambassador Roberts explained to the gathered merchants. They keep worlds weak and reliant on their trade, but that only works if there's no other choice. A trader from the Outer Rim spoke up. My world has been under Empire economic control for 3 generations. Last week, we installed our first quantum replicator. Our people ate fresh fruit for the first time in decades. Similar stories poured in from across the galaxy. The Empire's economic stranglehold was breaking. More worlds were declaring independence each day, protected by Earth's defensive technology and supported by their resource generation systems. Lord Grey made one last attempt at threats. Your actions are destroying the galactic economy. There will be chaos. No, Stone replied firmly. We're just releasing it from your control. The galaxy managed trade long before the Empire existed. It will manage fine without you. After the transmission ended, Lieutenant Wilson brought up the latest reports. Sir, the Empire's trading authority is collapsing in 3 sectors already. Their economic control was based on fear and dependency. Once those are gone, their whole system falls apart, Dr. Anderson finished. And they did it to themselves by trying to isolate us. Ambassador Roberts smiled from her screen. Sometimes the best way to defeat an empire isn't through war. It's by showing others they don't need it. Admiral Stone looked out his window at the busy spaceport below, where ships from dozens of free worlds were docking. The Empire had tried to starve Earth into submission. Instead, they had sparked an economic revolution that was spreading across the stars. Send word to our allies, he ordered. The trade embargo against Earth has failed. The real embargo, against the Empire, is just beginning. The Empire's economic weapon had backfired spectacularly. Their grip on the galaxy was slipping away, one free trade route at a time. The Empire's command center on their capital world was in chaos. Red warning lights flashed across every screen as reports of rebellion poured in from all sectors. Another system has broken away. An Empire officer shouted. The Centauri colonies have declared independence. High Admiral Rex slammed his fist on his command console. How? How are they all resisting us at once? The answer appeared on his main screen. Admiral Stone's calm face, broadcasting on all frequencies. "Your time of tyranny is over," he announced. "Earth is helping every world that wants to be free." Across the galaxy, the rebellion was spreading faster than the Empire could contain it. Earth's quantum shield technology protected the rebel worlds from Empire attacks. Their self-sufficiency systems kept them safe from economic pressure. In Earth's Defense Command Center, Lieutenant Wilson tracked the spreading rebellion. "5 more systems have requested our help in the last hour, sir. Our training teams can barely keep up with the demand." Admiral Stone nodded. "Send them what they need." "Dr. Anderson, how are the defense networks holding up?" Dr. Anderson's fingers flew across his console, monitoring hundreds of quantum shield installations across different worlds. "Perfect, sir. The Empire still can't break through our shields. Their weapons are useless against quantum technology. On a dozen worlds, Empire control centers fell to local resistance fighters. Earth's advanced but simple-to-use weapons gave the rebels the edge they needed. Centuries of Empire rule were ending in days. This is impossible." Lord Grey's transmission cut into their communications. His usual smooth appearance was gone, replaced by panic. "You're destroying everything we built." "No," Ambassador Roberts replied from her diplomatic ship, where she was meeting with newly freed world leaders. "We're helping others rebuild what you destroyed. Freedom, independence, hope." The Empire tried to send their mighty fleets to crush the rebellions, but they found their ships cut off and disabled by quantum defense networks. Their armies faced weapons they couldn't block. Their spies were detected by scanning systems they couldn't hide from. "Earth's technology is spreading too fast," an Empire general reported. "We can't stop it. Every world we lose makes the others stronger." In the Outer Rim, colonies that had suffered under Empire control for generations raised new flags. In the core worlds, planets that had been stripped of resources began rebuilding with Earth's help. The Empire's grip was failing everywhere at once. "Sir," Lieutenant Wilson called out, "the Empire's Third Fleet just surrendered to the rebels in the Orient sector. Their commander is requesting asylum." Stone smiled. "Granted. Show them we're not like their masters." Dr. Anderson looked up from his work. "Admiral, I think you should see this." The main screen showed the Empire's capital world. Protests filled the streets. Even their own citizens were demanding change, inspired by the success of the rebellions. "The Empire's built on fear," Ambassador Roberts observed. "Once people stop being afraid, everything changes." Stone finished. He turned to his command staff. "Send word to all our allies. Phase 3 is complete. The Empire's military power is broken. Their economy is in ruins. Their control is slipping away." Lieutenant Wilson checked the latest reports. "Sir, we're receiving surrender messages from Empire commanders across 3 sectors. They know they can't win." "Tell them what we've told all the others," Stone ordered. "Surrender peacefully, and you'll be treated fairly. Fight, and you'll face the consequences." As the day ended, the galaxy looked very different than it had just weeks ago. The mighty Empire was crumbling, not from a massive war, but from thousands of small rebellions happening all at once. Stone looked at the map of the galaxy, watching as more and more systems turned green, marking them as free. "The Empire wanted to make an example of Earth," he said quietly. "Well, they got their wish, just not the way they expected. The Great Rebellion wasn't won with a single battle. It was won with hope, technology, and the unbreakable human spirit that refused to bow to tyranny." 1 year after Earth's first contact with the Empire, the galaxy had changed forever. The Great Hall of the new Galactic Council shone with natural light, its transparent dome showing the stars above. Unlike the old council chamber, all platforms were arranged in equal circles. No world stood above others. Admiral Stone stood with Ambassador Roberts and Dr. Anderson as representatives from over 2,000 free worlds gathered for the historic meeting. The Empire's former capital world now hosted a very different kind of government. The Free Systems Alliance is now in session, announced the council speaker, a former resistance leader from the Outer Rim. Today we welcome our final members, as the last Empire worlds join our community. Lord Grey, now stripped of his titles, watched from a small observation area. His once magnificent robes were replaced by simple clothing. The empire he had served was gone, transformed into something new. Ambassador Roberts stepped forward to address the council. 1 year ago, Earth stood alone against the Empire. Today, we stand together as equals. Not an empire, but an alliance of free worlds. The main display showed the achievements of the past year. Quantum shield networks protecting every member world. Trade routes flowing freely without Empire control. New colonies growing on once dead worlds, restored by Earth's technology. The Empire taught us what not to be, Roberts continued. They showed us that true strength comes from freedom, not control. From cooperation, not conquest. Dr. Anderson presented the latest technological developments. Every world now has access to quantum shields, self-sufficiency systems, and clean energy. But more importantly, every world is free to develop their own path, their own future. Lieutenant Wilson, now promoted to captain, brought up the defense network status. Green lights showed protected worlds spanning the galaxy. The same technology that had defended Earth now kept everyone safe. But what about the Empire loyalists? Someone asked. What stops them from building a new empire somewhere else? Admiral Stone stepped forward. Nothing stops them, except the truth. The galaxy has seen a better way. Empire technology is now outdated. Their methods are proven failures. They've lost their power to frighten anyone. The council chamber filled with approving murmurs. On thousands of worlds, people watched the broadcast. The message was clear. The age of empires was over. Earth remains unique in our alliance, Roberts explained. We're still the only world that says empire ships forbidden. Not because we fear them, but as a reminder. A reminder of the day a small, overlooked world stood up to an empire and showed the galaxy how to be free. The Council's first act was to establish the Independence Protocols, guidelines to prevent any world from dominating others. The second was to create the Free Trade Network, ensuring no one could control resources like the Empire had. As the session ended, Admiral Stone looked out at the stars. "Did you ever imagine this?" he asked Roberts. "When we first saw that Empire ship in orbit." She smiled. "That we'd end up destroying an empire and helping create a free galaxy." "Not exactly. We just wanted to protect Earth." "Sometimes protecting yourself means helping others protect themselves too," Dr. Anderson added, watching ships from 100 worlds drift peacefully through space. Captain Wilson approached with a final report. "Sir, the last Empire military base has been converted to a trading post. It's really over." Stone nodded. "No, Captain. It's just beginning." The former Empire Palace, now the Alliance Peace Center, glowed softly in the evening light. Inside, representatives from formerly enemy worlds talked, laughed, and planned a future together. The mighty empire that had ruled through fear had been replaced by something stronger: trust and cooperation. Earth's ban on empire ships remained as a symbol, a reminder that even the smallest world could change the galaxy, not through conquest or control, but by showing others a better way. The stars seemed brighter that night, shining down on a galaxy where every world was free to find its own path among them.